We found that Real Thriller Productions used certain forms and conventions and chose to use these in our final product. The music we used was bought from a website which gave us full copyright. The music we used reflected the progression of the scene taking place, just like the music used in the opening sequence of Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, which helped to create a real scene and allowed the audience to feel they are really there, and makes it more tense, which is a key aspect of thriller films. The editing we use helped create a soft, grungy look, which reflects depth and secrets. This is also used in Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels during the chase when the police catch the two protagonists selling products illegally. This, along with the music, helps us to create a more realistic effect and makes the audience wonder what would happen next, if they would be caught or get away. We used a variety of different shots at the beginning. We used a range of longer, further shots as we introduced the audience to the three girls and the seemingly psychotic male, which becoming closer and shorter as the pace of the sequence increases to a faster rate. We used panning of our first shot, which featured the setting and allowed the audience to familiarize themselves with the setting, just like Clockwork Orange. Our media product represents social groups throughout the sequence, but could have been improved. Our sequence only features young people living in Hampshire and New Forest countryside. It lacks authenticity as it doesn't feature anyone above the age of 17, but represents different types of teenagers instead. There is an active, healthy girl running, which represents those teenagers who run and are active. It is a student who is very chatty and socially overrated, as she is on the phone or texting, which is a more image of a teenage girl. Lastly, we introduced a lonely-looking girl reading by a tree. To improve, we should have added different age groups, as this seemed to work really well in Blue Velvet, as the beginning features older people, but later on they're younger protagonists. I think that the distributor of our final product may be cinema because our sequence is good at capturing the attention of the audience. It has good music, and the name of the sequence is Capture, which is very witty and could be seen as attractive as its unique selling point. This technique was used in Seven and was seen as attractive too. It fits well as three people were captured during the sequence. When people go to the cinema, they like to see a story that grips you all the way throughout and keeps them on the edge of their seat. I feel the audience could be teenage-based as it features a group of interesting teens that are all very unique but find themselves in the same situation. It is also representable as many different types of teens, so it could be interesting in that aspect. Feminists may watch it as three girls are taken. The feminists may want to find out whether the girls escape and the meaning behind it. We think the audience of our media has to be 15 plus. This is because our film does have footage of some violence and even subtle drug taking when the psychopath tries to drug the three girls. Not only that, when the girls are kidnapped and tied to a tree and he takes photos of them, to some people this may be portraying sexual activity. To attract our audience, whom we targeted to older teenagers and young adults, we used a range of forms and conventions which helps captivate attentions of the audience. We used a range of quirky yet interesting shots and fresh music which changed tempo and pace in time with the speed and energy of the sequence. For example, our music becomes more upbeat after the girls are tied up and one of the girls escapes from the rope. The shots we used vary according to the pace of the sequence also. The witty title of the sequence may also be quite attractive as it's called Capture, and three teens are captured. This title, shown at the end of the opening scene, in front of a time-lapse of the sunset, may be an ironic way of putting light on the dark situation that happens in this film. It is ironic as the sky in the time-lapse is light beginning to get dark as it was filmed late afternoon. During our production of our task, we used a software called Final Cut Pro on the Sony software computers at school. We also used the software on a Mac with Apple software on iMovie mostly, which we found very simple. It allowed us to learn new ways of editing video clips. In ours, we chose to add quirky effects like a soft poster grunge filter and slow motion when the girl runs away from the scene into the field. We learnt how to clip video clips to avoid anything that may look unrealistic or out of place, so each clip ran smoothly into the next, which was easy as every clip was filmed in the same place with a similar light setting. This was also difficult as it was soon to be dark, but no problem as the editing software allowed us to finally edit every clip. If one was a little too dark or looked too sharp, we could alter it to make it look better. We used an expensive but professional camera with a tripod, which allowed us to get clear quality pictures with fine detail, which added edginess. We used 2 cameras in the process of filming our piece, one of them being the Canon 550D and the other being the GoPro. We set these up at the same time and used the GoPro to film the time-lapse of the sunset at the same time whilst filming the main piece. This saved a lot of time. Looking back at our preliminary task, I think we have learnt and progressed a significant amount. To begin with, we had a much better organisation within our group. Therefore, unlike with our film noir, we knew exactly what we were filming and what we were doing. This really helped with the efficiency of our product. We also took into consideration of the mise-en-scene, unlike before where in our film noir we had a school PE lesson happening in the background. This time we thoroughly thought out our location and what would be best suited to fit thriller genre and conventions. We used much better technology in our thriller products, such as a better, higher quality camera. We also used a better tripod, plus a more advanced and familiar editing software, therefore resulting in a more professional feel about our final media product. However, any problems or mistakes we have learnt from producing our thriller opening scene, we will continue to improve and perfect them next time.